Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad and happy to have you with us this month's code experience. We are grateful and honored to be with you on a Sunday morning and sharing this space and having an opportunity to drop into deep practice together and weaving the threads of community, feeling ourselves and others and at home in the world. Brief introduction for those of you who aren't familiar with the Temple of Wholeness. We are a 501c3 church organization dedicated to emancipating individuals and communities into their own freedom, sovereignty, spiritual awakening, and a collective goodness on the planet to be the balm and the salve in a crazy time that we're all living in now. So today, Amber and I are exploring with you this theme of being as love. And if there's a particular medicine that the world needs now, this is certainly one of them. So the way that this will flow today is we are going to start with an attunement practice with Amber, where she will guide you into a deeper state of self-experiencing. Then I will lead a transmission of both understanding what it means to be as love, but then also the practice itself to take us more deeply into being as love. And then we will round out with some community shares. And then we will send you off into the wild cosmos of your Sunday to enjoy the sun and nature and whatever else is happening in your day. So with that, and with no further ado, Amber, you can start us off. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. So delighted to be here with you all today. And I'm just checking with you, Matt. Do you see me on the speaker view or do you see yourself still? Okay, great, perfect. Welcome to this beautiful day.
Okay.
So honored to share it with you. And we'll just quick check to make sure everyone's on mute as well so we don't have any interference. Great, thank you very much. Wonderful. So as we begin, I'm going to invite everyone to just allow the eyelids to close gently. And as the eyelids close, we begin to redirect our attention inwards, noticing how much information we're constantly taking in through the eyes that's informing us. And as we redirect our attention, we invite our interior to come into greater focus now. And we'll just begin by some nice, gentle, slow, deep breaths as we begin to scan the body. So just allow your awareness to move from the crown of your head, slowly, gently relaxing everything as you begin to scan downwards. And as you're scanning and relaxing along the way, just taking note of what's here. Noting any quality of sensations that are present, your inner atmosphere, emotions that might be moving through the system. Allowing yourself to become present with exactly as you are in this moment, while also giving the signal to begin to release, to let go, and to come more fully present into this moment. And so really relaxing all of the muscles of the face, noticing all of those connection points at the eyes that can tend to strain. Relaxing your jaw, the tongue and the mouth, beginning to open up more internal space. Moving down through the neck and the shoulders, through the chest, the rib cage, and all of the organs held within the rib cage. Relaxing down the arms, the palms of the hands, the fingers, open channels, allowing more life to flow through your vessel now. And relaxing down through the diaphragm. Receiving a nice deep breath into the diaphragm, really allow it to stretch with a full inhale. And exhaling with a sigh as you continue to move downwards through all of the organs in the belly, torso, relaxing down into your pelvic bowl, through the root, through the buttocks, and down through the legs, all the way down through the soles of the feet. Now allow your awareness to just rest into the entirety of your body here. And as you inhale, beginning to open that center at the crown of the head, allow it to broaden, the funnel to widen. And as we inhale, we're receiving this restorative source stream as a warm, nourishing golden light that spirals flowing in through the crown, spiraling down through the central channel, and allow that breath to arrive fully in the heart. The top of the in-breath, suspending for a few moments. Allow the heart to drink in this restorative light, this warmth, this goodness. And as we exhale, allowing that funnel of light to begin to move further down through the body, all the way down and out through the root and into the earth. And noticing as this current spirals down into the earth, it can form a more secure sense of connection downwards with the mother. And we're going to reverse the direction of this breath now, beginning to receive breathing upwards from the earth and a spiral moving in the opposite direction. And as we breathe upwards, we receive it through the root, up through the central channel, spiraling up into the heart. And once again, suspending the breath at the top of the inhale here, allowing the heart to drink in the unique frequency of the earth's nourishment. Cooling, soothing, softening. And as we release that breath, allowing that spiral to continue moving upwards until it spirals, fountaining up and out of the crown, flowing back down around the body, following the pathway of the flow of the toroidal field. And as it flows back to the earth, just supporting to cleanse any energies that you may have picked up along the way that are not yours to hold. Anything that may be creating static in the system, offering it all back to the mother to be thoroughly composted, transmuted, returned back to life. And once again, bringing our awareness above the head and receiving this current, actively receiving with gratitude this ever available source of restoration, of love from the cosmos, allowing the heart to swell, drinking inwards into the center. And as we suspend the breath, allowing that simultaneous movement of noticing your attention being drawn more deeply inwards towards the center while expanding. And as we release anything that is in excess within our system, flowing downwards back into the earth. And offering our gratitude to the earth for constantly receiving that which we are complete with, to return it back to life, to transmute it into its higher form. And another breath again from below, receiving all that you require for full nourishment from the earth, for vitality, spiraling up, drinking it into the heart, and again, pausing, receiving more deeply inwards, allowing yourself to fill from within with these essential energies. And to exhale, releasing upwards. Again, following the energy as it moves around the body, spiraling in this toroidal flow back to the earth. And one more cycle of breath in this way. Really bringing your act of receiving the intention to drink in as deeply as you are available to, receiving this nourishment at the most fundamental level of your being. Inhaling from above, warm, golden, honey-like light. Receiving that honey-like light into the heart, feeling it swell with the warmth. Feeling any hardened edges begin to soften. And exhale, offering back down to the earth. Offering any tension that you may be holding unnecessarily. And one more breath from below. With gratitude for the fullness of life, always available regardless of the conditions we find ourselves in. Opening to receive more deeply. Again, the heart swelling, receiving any soothing that may be needed. And to exhale, releasing above once again. Now allow your awareness to come to rest into this heart center. The sanctuary nestled into the center of your being, this meeting point between above and below. And feeling this sanctuary beckon you to enter into the deepest inner chambers. Really locating this point in space. Bringing all of your attention to concentrate here as you invite this gateway to open internally more fully. And as you simply breathe in and out of the center, noticing how the energies of above and below combine together to form the exact right combination of energies that is most nourishing, supportive, enlivening to your being in this moment. And as we enter deeper and deeper inwards into the sanctuary, we begin to call forward in our attention, holding in our heart's gaze, whatever it is in our life that brings us into love more deeply. And we'll utilize this as a focal point while directing our attention into this center to begin to evoke this feeling tone within the center of our being. And perhaps it's a person that is so, so beloved to you. Perhaps it's a four-legged friend, a place that you love to visit. Whatever it may be, just using it as a symbol to allow you to begin to generate that feeling tone from within. And as soon as you have that feeling tone, you can release the symbol, focus all of your attention, allowing each breath that you breathe and direct into this inner chamber to begin to amplify this feeling tone, to allow it to grow more vivid, stronger, more palpable with each breath. With each exhale, we allow that feeling tone to begin to expand through us. Expanding through the heart and the chest. streaming through every nerve in our body to the tip of every finger and toe. Visualizing it as a sphere that begins to grow bigger and bigger, the more intensely you can feel this tone expanding through you. Growing to encapsulate your entire body within this sphere of love, drenching every cell of your body. Visualizing every cell, drinking it in as nourishment, the most fundamental nourishment available to us. Allowing the sphere to expand several feet in all directions beyond the body. Sensing it 360 degrees around you, your body resting within the center of it. And now drinking it in even more deeply. As each cell drinks it in, it starts to move into every single atom that is spinning to form every cell. Acknowledging that all atoms are 99.999% space, and that they are vibrating into patterns that are organized as form. And as we tune ourselves to this fundamental frequency of love as our beingness, we begin to cohere our electromagnetic field, which begins to reinform the patterns that the particles are all organized and dancing within. And we breathe into the heart. We begin to also ignite the intention to strengthen our original divine blueprint, born of love. Allowing this blueprint to reform us in this moment in accord with what is most fundamentally true from this frequency. Each in-breath continuing to bring more vitality and energy into the heart, into this feeling tone, the vibration of love as our fundamental beingness. Each exhale continues to expand this frequency through the entirety of our field, and allowing those ripples to emanate infinitely in all directions from this place where we sit. Choosing in this moment to rest in our beingness as love. Every exhale emanating this ripple through all of the particles of life, sending a clear, coherent signal, an invitation, a blessing. Inviting the medicine of the state to help to transform anything that's still may be held in your system that is in contraction, that is hardened, through pain that has been held long past its expiration date. Remembering that we are mostly space. So even the most perceived contractions, densities are able to be reinformed and reorganized at this most fundamental level. Inviting any transmutation of what's being held in this moment within this coherent field. Receiving the medicine of your beingness and allow it to be directed by the intelligence of your soul and your body working in concert. To bring you into ever more congruence with who and what you are in truth as love. You may also, if you feel so called, bring into your awareness any one or circumstance who you feel may deeply benefit from receiving this medicine in this moment. Knowing that as you hold this person or circumstance within your heart's gaze, enfolding it in this love, that it is enormously amplified and far more effective than any other state that we can transmit blessing from. So if you have overflow to share in this moment, just taking a few moments here to offer what you have to give. Good. Releasing all of that now, and to complete once again, simply resting into the center point of your beingness, the heart as the conductor of our biofield in our lives. Taking a few moments to appreciate the state that you've given yourselves the opportunity to access today. Appreciating the nourishment of every particle, forming every cell, forming every organ, tissue, sinew, bone of this blessed body temple. Feeling the increasing congruence when we enter into this state that becomes available. And acknowledging how much more effective we are in our lives from this state. Our capacity to influence in positive ways that benefit all. Acknowledging that from this state, new doors of possibility open to us, pathways are cleared, obstacles removed, that we become magnetic to all that is right and true and good for us, aligned with our divine blueprint. Acknowledging as well that the more that we increase this magnetism by drawing our attention inwards and filling from within, the more our radiance is expanded as a byproduct. And that from this place of access to the depths of our beingness, that we are more capable of seeing beyond the surface activity, what seems obvious, into the deeper truths that are just beneath, and our capacity to evoke that truth, that beauty. And to complete, invite you to place your palms over your heart. Appreciation for yourself. Appreciation for all of the vitality that is flowing through the system, the state of aliveness, of being able to sense yourself at the most fundamental level, and for making the time to prioritize this communion. Honoring the gift of this life that we've been given, our choice to be here as fully inside of each moment as we're capable of, and ever increasing that capacity, such that we may serve in the ways that we are each designed to in this time when the world needs it most. From love, as love, love living through us, blessing all that we encounter and interact with. May this be our living prayer as we flow onward. Releasing your hands ever so slowly and gently, allow the eyes to open. And as you do, gaze remains soft. The eyes relaxed into their sockets. Eyes drinking in whatever it is that you behold within your space, each other. And as the eyes drink in the light and the information it carries, allowing it to converge into the center of the head, opening this point of deeper insight, ability to see more deeply what is true, what is real. And following that energy as it flows down through that corridor, the central channel, and into the heart, a vast infinite space, into the sanctuary here. And noticing as if you could see with eyes on the back of your heart, feeling soft eyes anchored in and down into the back of the heart. And an invitation as you continue on from here, receiving Matt's transmission, moving through your day, all of the interactions, to play with this somatic anchoring of your sight. Rested in to the center, flowing down and expanding backwards to wrap all that you see in love. Thank you so much. With that, is my joy always and honor to hand the baton to you, Matt.
Thank you so much. So nourishing. As we shift, I'm going to invite you not to shift your state of being, but to stay in deep receptivity. And in the same way that Amber was describing this process of sight and seeing as a process that occurs inside the beingness rather than a projection outside, I'm going to invite you to do the same thing with hearing. So instead of listening, which is a somewhat active and engaging process, I'm going to invite you into hearing. So an example of this is as you're sitting outside having your morning coffee, and you hear the birds. It's an invitation for their song to enter into your ears and play through your entire brain and being and body. Letting that hearing animate sensation within you rather than projecting your listening out into the world, which often carries the quality of thinking with it. So while I will be discussing some content that could be thought about, and you can always go back and watch the recording and think about it if you'd like. So know that nothing is lost, no opportunity is lost. But in this opportunity for hearing, I'm going to invite you to practice feeling the way these words land on the shore of your awareness, where they take root in your being and generate sensation. So with that, we're going to examine this very simple set of three words that is our theme for today, which is to be as love. What does it mean to be as love? So we can take each of those words individually. What does it mean to be? There's a whole field of philosophy called ontology that invites us into knowing what it means to be. And probably one of the most well-known ideas around being comes from Descartes. And he says, I think, therefore I am. But Descartes makes the error of all of his arguments, which is to separate mind and body and to operate on something which is not as fundamental. So, for our purposes, one of the most fundamental, necessary ways of being is feeling. So, in being as love, we are going to practice feeling, sensing, noticing. To be and to feel, we must be in a body. And the truth is, we are in multiple bodies simultaneously, all of our energy bodies, all as self. But for these purposes, we can feel the energy in our body as we be. The second word, as, most people would treat as a simple functional word of language. But if you take a look at its function, it's actually providing something really necessary. To be as love means that our beingness can take on the quality of something else, which implies that change is possible and choice is possible. So in the asness, we can navigate our experience of being by utilizing choice. And there is never a time in life, in consciousness, where choice is not available. Choice, like consciousness, is pervasiveness to all of life. Now, the choices that we would make may be hampered or bound by outside circumstances or environments in any given moment, but the choice is still available, even if it's just the choice of what we're focusing on. And then lastly, love. Love is a word that is so fundamental, it is hard to create a description of. And in many languages, there are many words that we kind of shrink down into one package called love. But the way that I would like to examine love in this case is from the Greek, which is philia. So you may be familiar with this in the even in the word of the name of the city, Philadelphia, right? Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love. Delph meaning brother and philia meaning love. But if you take philia with its opposite, which is phobia, you can see phobia is fear that moves away and separates. If we have a phobia of something, we are moving away from it and we are rejecting and separating from it. So the opposite, philia, is that which moves towards and combines with. So the nature of love is to move towards and to combine with that which we are setting our attention on. And this can happen with the self if we are experiencing the self as both subject and object. If I place my awareness, and my awareness is me, on my inner, deeper being, that is also me. In that way, I can move towards the deeper parts of me and love myself. If I place my attention on another, I can move my awareness towards them, merge with them, and that is the act of love. If I place my attention on nature, on an animal, on art, on music, I can allow my awareness to move towards that and merge with it, and I am loving that thing. So to be as love means to feel, to choose, to combine. To choose to move towards and merge with that which our attention is placed on. So, with all of that preface, I'm going to invite you again to close your eyes. If the mind went into any habit of grasping idea, chewing on concept, I invite you to let the mind relax and open and feel any tension within the skull, within the cranium to settle. Feel an uprushing through the center of the cranium and visualize the mind as an ever blooming fractal infinite lotus without contraction, purely and effortlessly unfolding via the vitality of nature itself. No strain, no work, no effort. Just more nature, enjoying the drinking in of the sun, constantly looping, opening, and unfolding. And with this relaxed and wide open mind, I'll invite you down into the heart. And feel what is in the heart. Our first step of being as love is being, which means to feel, to sense, to notice, to inhabit, to embody. Feeling requires attention. So let your attention rest in the center of the heart. Remind the heart that in this moment it is safe. And as it is safe, it is natural for it to desire to open. And in our description of love, we realize love moves towards. So as you rest your attention in the heart, notice how is the natural energy of love in my heart moving? Is there something it wants to move towards? Does it want to move towards a deeper aspect of my own being and allow that love to circulate within me? Find some parts that would like to be resourced with the awareness and potential and capacity and feeling of love. Does it move towards something outside which I'm grateful for? Grateful for my family, grateful for the plants in my backyard. I'm grateful for my love, my partner. I'm grateful for the sun shining down on me. And notice as you hold that thing that you're grateful for, there's a natural sensation in the heart of awareness and attention and energy moving towards. And implicit within that process was choice. Yes, I can feel this natural mechanism of being that wants to move towards, but I can consciously choose where to place that attention and delight in the feeling and the sensation of the natural, effortless energy moving across the gradient from self to other, or self to deep self, or self to world at large. And notice that if you allow it, there is a feedback mechanism that occurs. That as you love, you delight in the feeling of loving. It feels good to love, and that makes us love more. There's a natural upward spiral in loving. And in the real world, there's a balance of philia and phobia. Sometimes we love so much it takes us to an edge we're unfamiliar with. And we get to use choice to decide if it's loving to pull back or to move forward. Sometimes pulling back is a part of love to help us regulate to where love is most sustainable and enduring, where it is most generative, healthy, and creating even more wholeness. As you allow this love to be an upward spiral within the self, as you allow the vessel of your being, which is your body, fill with more and more and more of this positive feedback loop of love, you might start to notice it's as if your body can't contain it. And there is a natural emanating function, a radiating function of being. This is the nature of what it's like to be around someone who lives as love, where their being has gone beyond the stabilization of a moment or a minute or an hour, and they've chosen moment by moment, day by day, to be in beingness, generating a livingness as love. And you can feel it. You can feel this choice. You can feel the focus and attention and care by which this choice was made over and over, even when it wasn't easy, even when it didn't make sense, even when it seemed that no one was returning that love. This person made the choice to feel the feeling, to emanate and radiate and fill up and live as love. This is a choice we can all make. And for many, the choice will be love. But the choice can also be joy. The choice can be awakeness. The choice can be safety. So we can live as joy, live as safety, live as radical awakeness. But the choice is fundamental. And the feeling follows. So as you feel this radiating out into the world around you, let this love we've generated as a field together go out to those who need it most. And visualize these little packets, waves, these little particles of love and joy landing in the awareness and, whether consciously or unconsciously, brightening the day of someone who most needs it. And in that way, as the Buddhists say, we dedicate the merit of this practice to those who would need this energy, this love, this choice, this consciousness, so that we may all be benefited, and we, as the oneness, may continue to rise, awaken, and evolve, and be in service to all that is good, all that is true, and all that is beautiful. So it is, so it has been, so it shall be. And as you stay in this state, Amber, I'll invite you to take us home with a prayer.
Just continuing to amplify the prayer that I offered in the end of our attunement, that from this state, any prayer that we hold genuinely within our heart is exponentially amplified, energized, and empowered to be realized. So I'd invite you once again to call forth in your awareness whatever it is that you wish to direct this energy into in this moment for its amplification. Breathing into it with each in breath and allowing it to expand with each out breath. And once again, blessing the entirety of our path, opening those doors that are ready to be opened, clearing the pathways and removing the obstacles, peeling back the surface layers of what seems apparent to reveal the deeper truth and beauty ever available. Drawing forth the best through everyone that we interact with. Igniting the highest field of possibilities that are right here, waiting to be noticed, activated, and engaged with. From this state of congruence as love. May our presence be a blessing in every interaction and every space that we inhabit. And may we be ever nourished on our path, fulfilling our design and all that we came to be and do and offer in service to this world. May we be well resourced in every regard, such that we can always bring our best. And may the solution that is inherent within every challenge be readily revealed and available to us. Thank you, Source. Thank you, God. Thank you, Life. Thank you to the Great Mother that holds us all and makes this life possible. We are forever grateful. And so it is.